Okay, so finding your comfortable seat. Really allowing your bum to settle into the chair and your feet to the floor. Finding a place that feels really stable for you. And as you take these few moments to settle in, see if you can really connect to the support below you. See if you can feel your weight on the chair, feel the weight in your feet. And notice if you can allow yourself to be even just a little heavier. Almost like you're giving in to the support, relaxing into the support. So allow the bottom half of your body from hips down to your feet feel heavy. And then from that heaviness in the lower body, see if you can lift the spine. So you might feel more length as you breathe in. You might find more spaciousness as you breathe in. And then you can use that same sense of spaciousness with the in-breath to find more room in the chest and in the upper back. Give yourself a few moments here, finding that spaciousness, that solidity below, and the spaciousness in the torso. And then you might start to bring a breath visualization into your practice or into this moment, where you're breathing from the ground up into your body. And then allowing the exhale to flush out anything that doesn't serve you down back into the ground. Breathing up from the ground. And then breathing down, releasing your breath back into the ground. So this can be a useful visualization if you're looking to rebalance your energy system. If you feel that you don't have quite enough energy, you can breathe in extra energy, breathe in sort of vitality, renewal. And by the same method, if you feel like you're starting off with excess energy, anxiety, or you're kind of hyper up here, you can send that excess energy into the ground, rebalancing. So finding your perfect energy balance within your body. It may also help while doing this visualization to keep the inhales and exhales even, if possible, as close as possible. We're just spending a few more cycles of breath, breathing up from the ground. Exhaling back into the ground. And then bringing your awareness back to the space around you. And we'll start to move. And we'll start with the neck. As you exhale, letting the chin come down towards the chest. And as you inhale, letting the chin lift. Moving through about 2 more rounds, but following your own breath. And then when you feel balanced the next time, let your head come back to center. And then we'll change the movement. Exhale to look over one shoulder. Inhale to come back to center. Exhale over the other shoulder. And continuing to move with your breath. The inhale always bringing you back to that center point. Finding the balance. Moving through one more round. When you feel balanced, let your head come back to center. And take a breath or two, just reestablish yourself here. So you might again find that spaciousness with the inhale, lengthening the spine, broadening the chest, softening the shoulders on the exhale. And then from this place of centering, we'll find some more movement in the head. Like you're drawing circles with your nose, find a few circles in one direction. And then switching directions when you're ready. And then make your way back to center as you're ready. Pause. You might find that resetting again. Inhaling to lengthen the spine and find space in the chest and back. Exhaling to soften the shoulders again. And then let's move with the shoulders, rolling the shoulders in whichever direction feels more natural for you. And then rolling the other way. Releasing your shoulders down and pausing. And we'll inhale to shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale to release them down. And twice more. Excuse me. Too quick release. Inhaling up last time. Exhaling to release. Let's get into our shoulders next. So let your hands come so that the palms are facing the floor, elbows bent. And then we'll move the arm bones. Often we stretch the arms out and kind of turn the whole arm forward and back. We're going to use our arms like levers today. So starting off, palms facing the floor. With an inhale, we'll turn the arm so that we're lifting the fingertips up. And then as you exhale, sweep the fingertips down towards the ground. Moving with your breath. Exhaling to come down again. One more time. Exhaling to come down. And then come back to neutral for a moment. And release your arms. And pause. Wiggle anything that needs a little wiggle. Then we'll do the elbows. Stretching arms out wide, palms facing up. As you exhale, bring fingertips towards the shoulders. Inhale to stretch apart again. Moving with your breath about twice more. And then we'll switch directions, letting the arms come forward. And then releasing the arms, finding any subtle movement in the shoulders, any wiggling that feels warranted or good. And then we'll move down into the wrists. So finding some wrist circles, palms, hands can be open or you can close into fists. And then switch directions, rolling the wrists the other way. And then shaking out your hands, shaking out the wrists. Getting into the fingers a little bit. So we'll move the fingers in circles. We'll start with the thumbs. And rotate or move your thumbs in circles. And switch directions. And then moving to the pointer finger. If any of your fingers don't want to cooperate the way you wish them to, switch directions. You can always help it along. Stir the finger. And then we'll get into the middle finger, communication finger. Switching directions when you're ready. All right, arguably the most difficult one, ring finger. So this one might, to be satisfying, you might need to give it a stir with the other hand. And then switching directions when you're ready. It might require you to move two fingers at once, this one. And then when you're ready, we'll move on to the pinky. Switching directions when you're ready. And then wiggle out the fingers. Give yourself just a little space to flick water off your fingers, stretching the fingers in a different way. And then make some duck bills. Just send your ducks in different directions. Out to the sides, maybe overhead, facing each other, facing away from each other. Down beside your hips and back behind you. And then release the hands, shake them out. Okay, come back to that tall seat. Give yourself the time to reestablish it. You can use your breath to do so. With the inhale, finding the spaciousness in the spine, lengthening the spine, straightening the spine. Exhaling to soften the shoulders. Find that place where you feel most balanced. And then we'll move into the shoulders. So let's play with bringing the shoulder blades together, but you might not use your arms today. How would it feel to draw the shoulder blades together without the assistance of any big arm movements? And see what you feel, then exhale to release it. You might imagine drawing the shoulder blades together and using sort of the tips of the shoulder blades to push the heart forward. Exhaling to release. Let's do one more time. Drawing shoulder blades together. Pushing the heart forward or allowing the heart to go forward. Exhale to release. Give yourself that moment to reset. And then we'll move into a side bend. Letting the hands either stay on your lap or they can come to your hips or waist. Inhaling, finding the length in your spine, tall spine, stretchy spine. As you exhale, tip over towards one side. And then we'll inhale back up. Exhaling over to the other side. Inhaling back up. Release your hands. Come back to center. Pause for a moment. Notice what's happening. Notice how you feel. And finding our twist. So we'll start off in the same position. Inhaling, finding that length in the spine with the in-breath, softening of the shoulders with the exhale. And then as we prepare to twist, another inhale with length, with space. As you exhale, starting to squeeze the air out, you're turning. You can use your hands along your leg. And then if you wish, you can keep revisiting that same setup. Inhaling to find the length in the spine, lifting the spine. As you exhale, sort of a softening into the twist, keeping the spine long. You might look over your right shoulder if that feels good. One more full breath cycle. And then unwinding when you're ready. And pausing for a moment. Find your center again. Find that spaciousness. Lengthen the spine. Exhaling to soften the shoulders. And then we'll set up to turn to the other side. Inhale. Lengthen the spine. Straighten the spine. As you exhale, starting to turn. Squeezing the air out as you go. With every inhale, you might think about lengthening the spine. And as you exhale, softening into the twist. Continuing to breathe. You might look over the shoulder if you like. One more full breath cycle as long as you feel good here. Unwinding when you're ready. And finding that balance point again, coming back to your tall seat. Using your breath to find it. Lengthens the spine, softness in the shoulders. And then we'll arch and round the spine. Hands can stay on your legs. They can reach towards your knees if you like. Let's start with the exhale. So as you exhale, draw the belly in. It's almost like you're pushing the air out and drawing the front of the body together, pulling in the ribs, shoulders are coming forward. Then with your inhale, let's curl up again and then start to stretch into the belly and the chest, drawing the shoulders back. And then come back to neutral again. Come back to your tall seat and just pause for a moment. So we often, many of us, hold habitual tension in the front of the shoulders, kind of in the chest area. And the part of the reason behind this pose is to start both to activate these muscles, both so that they can relax, because we often have a lot of difficulty finding openness in the front of the chest, in front of the heart, in front of the shoulders. So the idea between the curling forward, that Halloween cat shape, is not just in the low belly, but it's also kind of activating all of the muscles in the front of the body with the aim or intention that we relax all of the muscles in the back body. And then same in the opposite way, when we're stretching into the front, the back is hopefully working all the way from the neck down to the tailbone so that the front can all relax, especially those areas that we hold really tense, really tight. For most of us, that doesn't happen right away. I'm a work in progress. Sometimes I can find a little bit of softness in front of my shoulders, and sometimes it's just doesn't come. But that's kind of the intention that we're looking for, or to set for yourself. While we activate the front muscles, softening the back, and the exhale can help to sort of push the air out, activating the front of the body. And then as you inhale, you can think about it as stretching the belly, stretching the chest, but think about working all of the muscles along the spine, almost like you could zip all the muscles together that frame the spine. And see if you can find some softness, some openness in front of your heart, in front of your shoulders. And then move with your breath after that whole explanation. Just start to get curious about where you can find where, when you're supported on one side, the other side can start to soften. Let's do one more cycle, as long as you feel okay moving this way. And then make your way back up to that center point. It might feel good to finish with the back bend side. If it doesn't, you can always find another curl. Reset your tall spine. You can use that breath again to find length in the spine. Soften the shoulders. All right, let's get into, we're gonna skip any major core today. We'll, or specific exercises for core, and we'll just get into the legs. So let's start off. You can choose which leg you want to start with. Make sure you have enough wiggle room for the legs. So leg number one, let's lift and then find some circles in the hip. If it doesn't feel good to lift, you can always draw circles on the floor with your toes instead. And then switching directions, circles the other way. And bring your knee forward, keep the thigh lifted. We'll find some lower leg circles. Switching directions. Keeping the shin still, we'll find some ankle circles. Switching directions. Pointing and flexing the foot a couple of times. And then stretching and flexing the toes a few times. And releasing that foot to the floor. Give yourself a moment, recenter, find that lengthy spine and the soft shoulders. And then we'll switch sides, second leg. Circles in the hip. Switching directions when you're ready. Bringing the knee forward, keeping the thigh still, lower leg circles. Switching directions when you're ready. And then finding some ankle circles. Switching directions. Pointing and flexing a few times. And flexing and stretching the toes a few times. Releasing the foot to the floor. Pause. And we'll move through our seated flow. With an inhale, sweeping the arms up when you're ready, as high as feels good for shoulders. Exhale to release the hands down. Stretching the front of the body, arching the spine, inhale. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, find the length in your spine again. Exhale to fold forward. You can give yourself more space between your knees if you like. Then inhale, one arm up into a twist, shine the heart to that side. And then exhale the arm down again. Other side, inhale up, shine the heart the other way. And exhale down. Come all the way back up, sweep the arms as high as feels good. Release your arms. And take a centering breath, finding length in the spine again. Exhale, follow, soften the shoulders. Second one, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, release the hands. Stretching the front of the body. Inhale to arch the spine. See if you can work the back. Then exhale, work the front, soften the back. Inhale, back up to your tall spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, one arm up into a twist. Exhale, let the arm come down. The other side, inhaling up into a twist. And exhaling down. Come all the way back up, sweep the arms. Release your hands. Pause for a breath, coming back to center. Last one, from that place of centering and stability. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, release the hands. Stretching the front of the body, arch the spine, inhale. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, back up to neutral. Exhale to fold. Inhale, one arm up into a twist. And then let the arm come down again. Other side, inhaling up into a twist. And exhaling down. All the way back up, sweep the arms. Release hands. Pause for a breath, come back to center. Okay, when you're ready, come on up to standing. We'll move through some moon salutations. We'll use the backrest of the chair first. For the purposes of this video, I am standing with the chair on my left. We'll stand with the option to have your left hand on the chair if you wish. And then we'll start off our moon salutations by sweeping the arms up as high as feels okay. Grab the left wrist and exhale, side bend over to the right. And then inhale back up, switch wrists, and exhale over to the other side. And if it doesn't feel good to grab your wrists, you can always have the hands separate as well. Let the hands come down. One hand can be on the chair, or they don't have to be, but we'll step the feet wide. Point the toes out a little bit. And then bend the knees as deeply as feels good today. Hand can stay on the chair, or hands can come in prayer, or hands can come in a cactus shape, but we're coming into sort of a goddess pose. So your version of goddess. And breathe. And then we'll straighten the legs. And then we're finding 5-pointed star. Arms can go wide as long as you feel balanced. Heart opens. Maybe a little lift of the chin. And then release your 5-pointed star. We'll adjust the feet. Right foot will point towards the center of the room, or point forward. The left foot will point towards the chair to the degree that feels okay in your hip and in your knee. One hand can be on the chair, the right hand can be on your waist or hip, and then we're tipping sideways over the left leg. So your hand can stay on the chair if that feels good, or you can reach down your leg. And then options for the right arm as well. It can stay on your waist if that feels good. We're aiming to keep the heart open, nice open chest. Or you can reach the arm up towards the ceiling, palm facing forward. And then we'll come all the way up again. With the help of the chair, we'll pivot on the right foot so that we're turning to the left, turning towards the chair. So your hips are facing the chair. We're aiming to keep the legs as straight as feels okay. If they need to be a little bit bent, they can be a little bit bent. Open the heart again, inhale. Then lead with your heart as you start to fold over the left leg. Your hands can be supported on the chair. And breathe. Keep the back heel heavy if that feels good as a stretch in the back leg and the right leg. And then bring the torso up again, coming all the way back. We'll bend into the left knee. Left knee bends. Keep the heart high. Hands can stay on the chair, or you can play with lifting the arms if you feel really stable, really balanced. You can play with one at a time if you wish. Option here, no obligation. The hands might come back to the chair. And how would it feel to bend that back knee? So you're coming up onto the toes, the heel will lift. And then maybe you dip that knee down any amount and come back up. If it feels okay, you might do it twice more. And then come back up to your high lunge. Pivot on your feet so that you're facing forward again. And then we're swaying from one leg to the other. Speed skater kind of pose. So the toes can lift if you like, or the toes can stay on the ground. Noticing how it feels in your body. And then come back to center. We'll step the feet back together. And before switching sides, the chair will go to the other side. And then we'll meet back in that same pose we were just doing, swaying from leg to leg. So widening the feet a little bit. And a couple more sways from one knee to the other, one leg to the other. And now we'll pivot on both feet, turn towards the chair. We're setting up for our lunge. So the left heel might be lifted, you might be on your back toes. And if you want to, you can play with that option of bending the back knee and dipping it down. If it feels better to stay up high, you can stay up high as well. Just aim to keep your knees in line with the toes. And then if you were dipping your knee down, come back up to the high lunge. And if you'd like, you can play with the arms, one or both reaching up. And then let the hands come back down. As much as feels comfortable, straighten the right leg. Take a deep breath, inhale, open the heart. As you exhale, lead with the heart as you fold over the right leg this time. Make your way all the way up to standing. We'll pivot on the left foot so that we're turning to face forward. Left toes will point towards the center of the room, point forward. Right toes will continue to point towards the chair as long as that feels okay for knees and hips. If it needs to come a little more forward, that's okay too. Setting up for triangle on this side. Right hand can be on the chair. Left hand can be on your waist to begin. And then we'll tip sideways over the right leg. Hand can stay on the chair, right hand, or you might reach down your leg. Left hand can stay on the waist, or if it feels okay for the shoulder, you might reach it straight up towards the ceiling. Keep the heart open, breathe. And then we'll come all the way up again. Both feet turn out. 5-pointed star. So you might reach the arms wide, opening the heart. And then we might bend into the knees, finding goddess. Coming as low as you feel comfortable coming. Hands can be in prayer or in cactus, on the chair or on your hips or waist. Deciding where you want to be, breathe. And then release the legs, straighten the legs. Step the feet back together. Inhale the arms up as high as feels okay. If you want to catch right wrist, you can catch the right wrist. Exhale over to the left. Inhale back up, switch wrists. Exhale over to the right. Inhale back up. Release the arms. Pause for a moment, give yourself a chance to check in. And then from there, we'll move into our balance. I was considering doing the whole thing again. Normally we would do it starting on on one side and then moving to the other side. And then we do the whole sequence again, coming back in the opposite direction. But we're getting close for time already, so I think we'll move into our balance. So let's keep the chair where it is. We'll stand on the right leg and let the left leg lift, coming straight and forward. Doesn't have to be very high. And breathe. Toes can be on the floor if they don't lift well. And we're sort of testing the stability of the right leg. How heavy do your fingers need to be on the chair? How much support do you need? How light can they get? And then switching directions for the lifted leg out to the side. And how does that feel? Keep breathing. And then send the leg back behind you. Noticing which direction is easier or more difficult. Which areas need more stabilizing. And then play with that lifted leg. Bring it forward, take it out to the side and back. You might cross in front, cross in back. Notice where you are most stable and notice what could use some work. We're aiming to strengthen the stabilizing muscles. Catch us when we slip on ice. And then when you've had enough, let the left leg come back. Even out, give a little love to anywhere that needs it. And then we'll switch sides. Chair back to the left side. Standing on the left leg. Right leg starts to get light. So bringing the leg forward first. Now we're challenging the left leg. Notice how light your supportive hand can get. Keep breathing. And then move the leg out to the side. And then back behind you. And then play with that leg. Move it from the front to the side to the back, and again, back again. Challenging the stability, the stabilizing support system, the standing leg. Notice where you need the most support. How does this leg feel in stability compared to the other leg? They say we should spend twice as long strengthening the weaker side, the more difficult side. That might be something to build up to. And then when you've had enough, when you're ready, let that leg come down. Even out again. Both feet on the floor. A little love to the hips if they need it, or anywhere else that needs a little attention. And then give yourself the space, the permission to move any way you want to move before we come back to seated. What's your body looking for? What could you use in this moment? Could be playful. Anything you're looking for. Downward dog might feel nice, resting your hands on the backrest and walking the feet back, stretching into the spine. As though you're reaching from the tailbone to the crown of the head. But once you've satisfied any movements that feel good, any stretches that feel good, we can make our way back to the chair, back to seated. Take a few deep breaths as you settle back into the chair. Let the hands rest wherever they feel good. And again, feel that support below you. Feel the support of the chair, the solidity of the chair, the solidity of the ground below your feet. And if it would feel good, you might come back to that breathing visualization where you're breathing up from the ground, filling your body. And then releasing your exhale back down your body to the ground. Balancing your energy, balancing your system. And then as we move to close practice, letting your hands rest wherever they feel best. And sending yourself gratitude, first of all, for making the time to move and breathe together today, and for honoring your body and your breath. With much gratitude for allowing me to guide you through practice today. And with gratitude to all the students and teachers who have come before us. Om Shanti. Shanti Shanti. Om Peace. Peace, peace. Thank you.